President Trump ran as a champion of working-class Americans and got their votes for sure. Now he's trying to keep their support. As president, he signed a two-part Buy American, High American executive order. It tightens requirements for the U.S. government to purchase American-made goods, and it clamps down on companies that want to replace American workers with imported foreign labor. The order is popular. A new poll by ABC and the Washington Post found 73% of adults support these efforts. Mike Rowe is the former host of Dirty Jobs, CEO of the Mike Rowe Works Foundation, and an ardent advocate for blue-collar jobs. And he joins us tonight. Mike, thanks for coming on.
7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever works for you, man.
And you were on the first one every night that we did that. Of course.
I'll be with you at 3 in the morning if it comes to it.
When I retire, I want you to come with me to Boca and we can have an umbrella drink. So are you surprised that this is basically the most popular thing the president's done?
No, I'm not surprised, but I'm nervous.
Yeah. Why?
Two reasons. First of all, I'm not really sure I understand it, to be honest. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, and it's an executive order, and it's full of a lot of fine print. And secondly, and more importantly, it feels like it might be a shortcut. And as my pop used to say, you know, shortcuts lead to long delays. I don't know if it is or if it isn't. If the executive order makes things more fair, if it does something to clamp down on currency manipulation and a whole lot of other things I also don't really understand that feels like happen in the global economy that disadvantages our country, then I'm all for it.
Yes.
But if it's one of these things that is going to ultimately bring about some unintended consequences, I get nervous. Look, I'm nervous about the minimum wage because I think when we raise it to hurry up to get to an end point, it's like that whack-a-mole game. Something else pops up somewhere else, and it's like rent control. And I want an environment where the companies that are most responsible for hiring are dramatically encouraged by the market to keep the business here. And if we get ahead of ourselves and make it by fiat or some kind of mandate, I just figure that mole's going to pop up out of another hole, and we're going to have to whack it.
That's for sure. And people will certainly find a way to get around it. They always do. So if you could write an executive order, if you could do one thing to bring back American jobs, where would you start?
Well, I think, again, from a business standpoint, I would write something that made it crystal clear that my best upside for profit is to stay here.
Yes.
I don't know exactly what that would be, but I would just try and set the table differently than jump ahead and say, look, here's how I want the story to end, so let's just write this down and make it end that way. I just don't think we can do that. But look, I mean, I might also suggest that the country take a little more inward look at itself and try and figure out why it is. Look, once upon a time in another life, I had a deal with a blue jean company. You know, and part of what I wanted to do was give the consumer a really clear choice between jeans that were made in America and jeans that were made overseas. And they were identical, these jeans. And I mean, I can show you the research one day if you're into it, but it was remarkable how the price difference was everything. Until those two jeans, the American-made and the overseas, were the identical same price, there was absolutely no push, no incentive for the consumer to buy American. So it's not just the worker and it's not just the boss, it's us.
No, that's totally right. Though, a nice segue, it turns out people will pay an awful lot for a pair of jeans. Nordstrom is charging $425 for a pair of distressed jeans with mud attached. You've written that this is an insult to work or part of the war on work. What do you mean by that?
Well, the last time I was on your show, we talked about the monopoly thing, right?
Yes.
We talked about the fact that the wheelbarrow and the iron had been replaced by a rubber ducky and a penguin. And you said, look, keep an eye peeled for other examples of this sort of social war on work. And this morning, I woke up, and on my Facebook wall, somebody's like, Mike, what do you have to say about this? And the truth is, there's not too much to say, but we finally got to the point where not only will people pay $425 for a pair of jeans, but they'll pay for polyurethane fake mud that are put on the jeans. It's like jeans for people who don't have dirty jobs but want you to think they have a dirty job. So my beef with Nordstrom's isn't that they don't value icons of work. They clearly do. My beef is that they don't value authenticity, and that once again, as a country, what the hell are we doing, man? We're distressed jeans are one thing, but these look like you crawled through a sewer. And I know, I've crawled through sewers. This is what the jeans look like, and they're $425. I can sell you the same pair for $15 and still make a profit.
My wife would throw mine out for free. By the way, we did the math on this. If you were making the federal minimum wage of $7.25, you'd have to work for 2.5 weeks before taxes to buy one pair of the working man jeans.
In order to look like a working man. Right?
So good.
It's just, listen, man, this is a world completely defined right now by fake everything, right? It's fake news. We don't trust anything that we hear, and part of the problem is because they're screwing with monopoly, and they're asking us to buy a pair of pants that look like they were hung up and shot with a shotgun and pounded on a rock down by the river. It doesn't. What are we doing?
With synthetic Chinese mud attached. Mike Rowe, thank you. Great to see you tonight.
Anytime.